Okay, let's see how to provide Java 8 or how to enable Java 8 into our existing project. So we have did something like this: anonymous inner type. This is also anonymous inner type, but here reference of the button is missing. You are directly calling on find view by id dot set on click listener. Why? Because every button or every view is clickable, and on click listener set on click listener method is from view class and not from the childlike button. Okay, now enabling the Java 8. How you are going to enable the Java 8? Let's go to build.gradle over here, and can you see this default config closure over here? Into this default config closure you can have jack options enabled true, like this. Jack options enabled true, and compile options, see source compatibility 1.8 and target compatibility say 1.8. This thing, see here, I have added jack options inside default config, and I have added compile options inside Android closure. You would be getting that thing over here. See, Android, this default config would be having jack options, and at the level of default config means inside Android you would be having compile options. So this is something constant they have written. Either you can write in that fashion or you can directly write 1.8, one and same. But after making the change into the build.gradle, you need to sync the project or clean the project. Okay, Java main activity. See now, here you can get the benefit. The immediately if you have added Java 8, it is giving you that you can convert anonymous inner type to the lambda. You can convert anonymous inner type to the lambda. I'll keep this thing as it is just for your reference in the future, and I will create one more button, right? Say uppercase. I'm going to create one more button, something called as uppercase over here. To that button say btn uppercase, like this, and instead of reset we can have uppercase, like this. Uppercase, another button is there, uppercase. Okay, now on the click of uppercase, let me have find view by id r.id.btn uppercase. See, I'm not typecasting to the button. Why? Because every view is clickable. Button is nothing but what? View. If you want to do something button specific, if you want to do something button specific, at that time you need to cast it, otherwise not. Dot set on click listener, like this. And here instead of creating anonymous inner class or named inner class like click, you can directly do with the lambda. That's it. Now what is lambda? What is Java 8 features? If you don't know this thing, kindly go to the Google, search it, how lambda programming works or how lambdas in Java 8 works. Now see, this is completely declarativeness. So here you are emphasizing on the syntax of the anonymous inner class. Here no syntax. You don't need to remember anything. Make sure that if your lambda is one line, lambda is of one line, right? You don't need even the brackets, right? Even you don't need brackets. Or if you have multi-line lambda, if you want to do something multi-line lambda, there is one more provision in the Java 8 which is nothing but the method reference. We'll see both. Okay, see now what I'll do is that, so I'll write same thing, text view. Let me get the text view over here, right? And let me assign code cool in the capital. You can do this thing programmatically like this, dot to uppercase, likewise code cool dot to uppercase, so it would be automatically getting converted to the uppercase. Say the restart, and you'll see output like this. See, instant run is disabled when jack compiler is used. So instant run feature of your studio will not work until and unless you'll disable the Java 8 from your project. But no matter, right? If you are getting something nicer, you can compromise some features at the time of development, no problem. We can wait some more time to getting the project built and getting apk installed in your phone or the emulator, right? So this is how lambda works, right? This is how what lambda works. Now I will have one more button that will represent the method reference, btn lowercase. At the time of Java, we have seen this thing, right? At the time of Java brush up, we have seen all these things. Okay, lowercase, you can have lowercase. Okay, instead of uppercase we can have lowercase like this. Say find view by id, r dot id dot btn lowercase, btn lowercase dot set on click listener. Now this is something, what you can say, magical, that in the Java you are inserting functional programming style, right? So here you have assigned lambda, which might be, you'll see that, you'll say that it is similar to this thing, but you have removed this, you have removed this method name, and you are giving, what you can say, importance to this parameter, right? You are giving importance to this parameter, and this much coding means you are working, or you are giving emphasis only on the parameter and the body of the function. Remember that this is the function body, and this is nothing but the parameter of the function. You can write lambda in multiple ways. Just go to the Java 8 and see. Otherwise you can see my tutorial on the Java 8 how it works. Okay, now btn lowercase, here I can pass the method reference of the method. See, this is nothing but the current object. You are saying that in the current object you will find one method whose name is lowercase. Likewise, you will find one method in the current object. This is a scope resolution operator. You might be getting, you if you are familiar with the C++, you would be getting to know that this is a scope resolution operator, but that is not this thing. This is something Java's method reference syntax, right? So they have used that thing. Okay, you can create the lowercase method, but make sure that this method, lowercase method, name should be anything, but parameters should be same as on click method, right? Okay, now here, if you are going to assign same method to the multiple buttons, you are going to do if view dot get id is exactly equals to r dot id dot btn lowercase, then do this thing. If it is btn uppercase, then do this thing. Likewise, so you can assign same thing over here as well, you can assign same thing over here as well. Okay, if it is a lowercase, what should I do? Again I would be getting, now can I write these two lines in a one line? Completely declarativeness. See how should I write? First I would be needing this thing. I have got the text view reference over here, right? Then let me make it one object over here like this. Dot set text inline code, right? Inline code. I am saying what is this inline code, and you can say code cool dot to uppercase, or sorry, instead of doing this thing, right, straight away assign the lowercase code cool, right? Seems logical. Code cool like this, instead of making uppercase and then lower, like write this, you can do write this. Okay, now about the lambda, I was saying if it is a inline, right? If it is a inline, or if lambda is of one line, right, don't use the curlies and this thing. Even you don't need a semicolon after this, you would be needing semicolon after this bracket, like this, and you can say code cool dot to uppercase sorry, to uppercase, like this. Inline lambda, if your lambda, right, if your lambda is of one line, you don't need to have separate curly braces over there. If your lambda grows to multiple lines, it is suggested by Java 8 to have method for that instead of writing over there. So if you write over here, then also it is no problem. If you are going to write separate method like this, that is also well and good. Now let's get the output in this scenario and see what happens. Lowercase method reference, and this is nothing but what lambda is, right? This is a feature of the Java 8. Now these many are the ways. If you are using Java 8, don't use anonymous inner types, or don't create this click class unnecessarily. Straight away use the method reference. Make your code more and more functional. So functional parallelism is the one of the best coding style, going with the functional like JavaScript, right? So Java 8 has entered into the functional programming, so it is a different paradigm, right? So this is all about the Java 8 integration and giving some live demos like this. Let's get the output. You can make it uppercase, you can make it lowercase, no problem. Reset and the OK, all things are working appropriately, right? So this is a fundamental demo how you are going to work with the clicks, buttons, or anywhere. If there is a need to use the lambda, go and straight away use it, no problem. Make sure that, right, there are, means Java 8 is not fully supported to all of the versions of the Android, but method references and the lambda are supported throughout the versions. Okay, so if you like our videos, kindly subscribe us on the Code Cool channel of the YouTube. Okay.